Good afternoon. It's mid to late November. I think it's the 20th, so I think we're kind of in the late part. Could be the 21st. Could be in the late part of November. And it's a very, very cold November day. It's below freezing. And I'm back in the garage because I would prefer to do this on my back porch where you've seen me film a bunch of times. But there is a slight breeze that blows from time to time, and that makes the wind chill very, very uncomfortable. So I'm in the garage to be protected from the wind. All right, I've tried to start this particular video project a couple different times, but have never been a big fan of how I've started it and how it's gone, mainly because I've been trying to get good quality video of me doing some work, and I do have some equipment issues. Things aren't working exactly the way that I would like, and because of that, when I've started doing this, it hasn't worked real well. So then I thought just a couple of weeks ago that I should just outline the process and then just take a little bit of video snippets of each part and then kind of string all that together. And so that's what I'm going to do here. All right, so this is actually a project inspired by Jason from Mount Baker Mining and Metals. He's got a fantastic channel. And I was watching a video of his, and I think it was the first time I'd seen one of his videos. He was actually treating PC boards as if it were an ore. And I thought, wait, I should do that. I'm always looking for different metals that I can make my Imperial Beskar ingots out of. And as I'm running out of material that I can use that my furnace will take care of, I thought, wait a sec, I can make an ingot out of PC boards. And so that was kind of the inspiration that I have here. So I'm going to put a link to Jason's channel. His videos, or if you're even remotely interested in mining and smelting and all that other sort of stuff, you will enjoy his videos. And so let me just kind of walk you through my process while I still can, while this GoPro does what it's supposed to do. So here I've got, like PC boards, and I've got a bunch of these. I've got motherboards, I've got the PC boards that are left over from servers, the PC boards that are left over from hard drives, and I've even got a couple of cell phones that I need to dig into because I think there's some PC boards in them also. And then what I do with my pair of pliers is I just take a PC board like this, or any of them, and I try to break it up small enough so it'll fit in that. And that's what I've got in this bucket here. So as you can see, I've broken up several pieces, and that will fit in my crusher. And that's to break all of this down so that I can eventually get to a point where I can separate the metals that I want from the fiberglass and other things in plastic that I don't want. So after I make it a little bit smaller so that it can fit in here, I have a handheld rock crusher. Now this has been the instrument that's been causing me the greatest bit of issues, because this is not built and designed to smash up PC boards, and I think I'm using the wrong tool here. In fact, I was so frustrated with it, I was beginning to wonder if it even worked at all. So I threw in a handful of rocks, and it crushed those rocks like nobody's business. So as a rock crusher, this is a fantastic device. But as a PC board crusher, smasher, pulverizer, not quite so good. I don't have it here, but I'm thinking, I don't have it in with the equipment I've got laid out here, but I'm thinking I might want to go to a thrift store here over Thanksgiving break, pick up a secondhand cheap blender, because what I'm finding is that, yes, this will eventually pulverize some material, but oftentimes I'm left with PC board that looks like this, and it just doesn't want to break it down a whole lot more than that. And you can see just by the pieces that I'm running through my fingers here, there are some of these that still have a great deal of copper on them, and I'm looking to get the copper. So I'm thinking I might get a blender and run this through a blender and see if I can pulverize it and smash it down. Anyway, once I get whatever I get to dust, I put it in my sieve here that I use for my facing sand, and then I just basically screen it. And this material here has been screened already, which is why I don't have any yet. I'll have to process some, and I'll make a video for that. And then I'll screen it all down and just be left with, well, you can see some of the powder that's left over there. Sometimes it is that fine, which is what I'm looking for. Trying to do it as if it were ore, rock ore, pulverize it as much as I can. And then I put it in this container here, and I don't know if the GoPro's showing, there's still some residual, and you can see the color of that if the GoPro's picking it up. The GoPro's picking up that color, that there's quite a bit of copper. And then I will put it in there. And what I found the first couple of times trying to process the pulverized material is that fiberglass is resistant to being mixed with water. And I had a disaster the first time I tried to do that. So I generally put the pulverized material from this bucket into this one, put water in it, fill it up, shake it up as much as I can to get everything all nice and wet and such. At which point then I come here and I pan this thing down by hand, and you can see the GoPro showing. Again, there's some more copper from the last time I did that. And so then I pan it out, and here's some of the leftovers. This is the stuff that gets panned out and left in here. Mostly what this is fiberglass, and that gray stuff, a lot of plastic. And chances are I will process this a second time just to see if I've gotten everything that I needed to get out of. And then I'll be left with a pan full of metal, and then I let that dry. And then as soon as it dries, I put it in a bucket or another container, which I don't have. So hold on a moment. I'm going to go grab that real quick. All right, I do apologize for not having this ready to go. But here's my container of what I've processed so far. And I use that toothpick to help dig out of the crevices material that's left in the pan there. Because I want it nice and dry, and I put it in here. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of metal in there. And there's probably a little bit of plastic still in there and some other stuff. But you can see where a lot of that gets refined. There's also some PC board material in there, but a portion of that often has copper left on it. And then as you can see, there'll be an inductor toroid on the PC board that gets chopped up in there that I may not have pulled off the board. And you can see there's some wires there. And then there's even a couple of probably jumper wires that were on a PC board that's in there. And then what I will do, and this will be probably a separate video after I collect more of this, and I would like to get, if I can be patient, at least half of this full, if not all the way full, before I actually try to smelt it. I'll put a flux in there, as I've seen Jason from Mount Baker Mining and Metals do. Put a flux in there, melt that down, and then I should have a chunk of metal when I pour this into a cone that I can then use in whatever I want to do. And of course I'm going to make a Beskar bar, and that's what we got here. And I think what I have here, I think this is, it's at least 3, maybe 4 different sessions of the process I just outlined. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the tripod set up, and I'm going to start doing each phase here, and I'll just do a snippet of each stage and then put that all together and then call this video good. So hang on, and we'll start this process. I don't know if you can see the indicator light right there, but this battery is not charging at the moment because it is too hot. And there's times that I've caught myself wondering, did the battery go dead and needs to be recharged, or did it just overheat? A little winded here. While I'm waiting for that battery to cool down so I can get another run, I thought I would point out something with some of the PC boards that I have. Some of the PC boards I have are basically power supplies, and I keep going back and forth on whether or not I want to count this as part of my PC board metal. And when I look at one like this, where I've got a nice chunk of aluminum there, there's a heat sink, and two nice toroids of copper there, it would go a long way to adding to what I'm trying to accomplish here, which is to get it an ingot's worth of metal. I say I go back and forth because part of this whole thing was whether or not PC boards can be mined, and I know they can because it's how recycling things go based on the Mount Baker Mining and Metals channel. It's a viable process for sure, but just for my small little channel, I was just thinking about using standard conventional PC boards, something like this. Excuse me, where you can clearly see a lot of the copper. In fact, there's some copper wires there, and I wouldn't hesitate about using those copper wires. So I don't know, we'll see. This process is taking longer than I would have preferred, so I suspect when it all comes down to it, I'll probably use the metal from PC boards like this. All right, I'll see if that battery's cooled down enough to give this another run. Now that one was a pretty decent run. All right, I think I got enough here that while the battery recharges, I got probably 3, I don't think quite 4 runs. I'll pan this and see what we got. Now, I don't remember how many times I've shot and reshot this process, but a lot of that fiberglass does not like to soak up the water, and often it'll form little balls that repel the water, and so panning is incredibly difficult. You touch one of them, then they kind of open up and then spill out and make a couple more little balls. So try to combat that by kind of giving this a vigorous shake. So you can see how that already beads up. So I've successfully done this a couple of times. I think the last time I tried to film this, I was not nearly so successful. So I think that's why I'm doing this again. I think I'm on my 4th, 5th, certainly at least 3 different times I've tried to film these processes and had some frustrating times. And of course, I'm concerned in doing this, I'm going to spill this all over the place. Just to agitate things. See, I'm not dealing with a true piece of Tupperware here. There are some leaks. Anyway, it's just making this slurry. And I think this might be good enough that I can start panning this. I apologize if this keeps getting out of frame. There's one of those pieces right there that came out. It's a mess. All right, I'll get that in my pan. Switch camera angles. All right, let's give this a go. Looks like it's decently mixed up. Maybe not. If I just move this out of the way. Hopefully without spilling a lot of stuff. All this bending over, oh my goodness. Sound like an old guy. No wonder in depictions of the Old West and miners and such, they always look so old. This life probably took several years off their life. All right. Let's give this a try. Remember, I'm a social studies teacher, not a miner. So please pardon and forgive the crudeness and the rookiness of my behavior here. And I don't know if I captured this in the last attempt, but all this material I will be reprocessing. It's in this bottom pan here. I got, ooh, not too bad so far anyway, what I can tell. And then I'm adding some of that stuff that's floating, thinking it may not have been perfectly, well, I'm sure it wasn't perfectly mixed with the water. And there's some, oh my goodness, yeah. Some little wires. Is this one of those little balls of goop? Yep, see how that, see if that catches that. Not quite mixed up real well. And I know there's probably something important stashed in that glob. I don't think I changed my water in this bucket. I should do that at least. Some of those bigger flakes seem to be sticking, which makes me think it just didn't get chopped up a bunch, but it still has probably some copper trace maybe, and it doesn't just kind of float out. And I think that'll be part of the smelting process. There's going to be some fiberglass left behind. If you can hear the wind in the leaves, this is why I'm doing it in the garage. It's still cold. It's below freezing on a Thanksgiving morning. Neighbors driving up, crunching on the snow and ice across the street. A lot of fingers in there. Oh, and there's some copper wire right there. Thinking that might be about as far as I want to go. I think there's also some plastic still in there. I can't tell how well the lighting is in this or if I got a good angle. But I definitely see quite a bit of green fiberglass PC board stuff. Like I said, there may be copper attached to it. And I think some of that darker stuff, that's plastic that for one reason or another is not floating out. But the rest of that looks pretty coppery. Some glints of silvery looking and gold looking such. It could be gold plated connectors. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there. I'm hoping that each time I do this, I get a little bit better at it. But it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. But anyway, that's a fairly routine, decent amount. And I'll just let that dry. Let that dry, and then add it to my pile, my stash, my stack. Add it to my stack. Yeah. Got a lot of metal in this one. I may have actually found a series of clips today that I can keep and use. I'll review some of these and see if there's any more I need to do, but I think I may have enough that I can put this together as far as the treating the PC boards like an ore, and then I can make the smelting video a different one, although I may even have enough of this. I may be tempted to give it a try. I'll have to wait and see. This is all things I keep thinking and rethinking and reconsidering. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop there for now. Oh, yeah, look at my tailings bucket. Oh my goodness. Heck. Industrial waste. Okay, all right, it's break time. Now, I'm not sure if I had filmed the panning of this particular batch, but this is what it looks like after it's had a chance to dry. And this might give a better idea of just what I'm getting. I'm going to take the GoPro out. Get a little closer. Here we go. Idea of what we're getting here, and I think it's easy to see that there is a great deal of copper in there, and not just from the little strings there. Okay, so let me weigh this. That doesn't want to jump over the top there. Goodness, it's harder to get out of the pan. Well, I'm trying to do this on film too, not make a big mess. Usually this isn't quite such an ordeal. All right, 0.52 pounds is what I recovered. Of course, I didn't weigh what the beginning was. 0.85 ounces or 23 grams.